My father was a huge baseball fan. Loved Willie Mays, Monty Irvin back in the day. That's right around the time I was born.
Mm-hmm.
My grandparents were big Brooklyn Dodger fans. But
Mm-hmm.
by the time I was 6 years old and starting to play baseball, starting to root for teams, the only team left in New York City were the New York Yankees.
Okay.
And that was like poison in the family because obviously, their first black player, Elton Howard, didn't come along until 1955. He was one of the last
Right.
teams to integrate the squad. But, nevertheless, they were the hometown team. And obviously, your loyalty and passion went with them. And as time went on, they started to recognize the value of a black player and, had enough over the years to really step up and help them become the perennial champions for a period of time that they were.
And you know what? That's funny how our community has veered so far away from baseball, and baseball used to be the game of choice in our community.
Yep.
I'm a former football player, and the reason I even got interested in sports because I'm a left-handed guy, and Reggie Jackson. I was 7 years old, 1977. Reggie Jackson is on TV with the Yankees, and I'm like, wow, he's left-handed. So even to this day, I find myself enamored with left-handed athletes just because that's what caught my eye, and baseball was my initial sport as well. Now, like I stated earlier, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was also a student at Power Academy. Did you ever cross paths with him, or was that just a 4-year period that you guys never crossed paths?
Yeah, actually it was 5 years.
Oh,
We never crossed paths during that time. I know when I was recruited out of high school, that's
okay.
when UCLA was interested in me. And, they had Lou at the time, Kareem now, but,
right.
He had written or signed a letter that was written to me. But, in the end, I said, I followed him once. I'm not going to follow him again. There's no way in the world I was going to be able to match his accomplishments, and people would forever compare me to him, which is no comparison. He's one of the greatest players in the game. I like to be compared to him in other ways, from an intellectual standpoint, from a diversity of interest standpoint. He's kind of a Renaissance guy, and I look upon myself as somewhat of a Renaissance guy as well. So from that standpoint, we could probably be comparable, but from a basketball standpoint. And when I got to Power, that's what they did initially. I was a new big man in Power, and, got a lot of pub, and people didn't realize I hadn't really played basketball before. So they made that comparison the first day I stepped on the court, and after that, they didn't have to worry about it anymore. But I developed, and I have no problem with that. The first time we actually met face-to-face was my rookie year with the Pacers. The Milwaukee Bucks came to Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. The first game played, and I was jumping center, and that was the first time we met. I was so impressed with the fact that we were introduced, and the teams were introduced. He ran all the way over the fifth bench to, give me a gap and welcome to the league. Then he proceeded to whip my behind, but that's a whole other story.
Hey, he whooped a bunch of people's behind.
Yeah.
So now you at Power. You, like you said, you become a high school All-American. You heavily recruited. How did you land at Maryland?
I was recruited with my academics and with my skill level. I could probably have gone to any school I wanted to. So I made a choice of looking in different regions, and ultimately realized that the ACC was televised a lot back to New York, and a lot of it had to do with players from South Carolina. Some guys who ultimately became friends of mine, Kevin George, Brian Winters, guys like that, and before them, John Roach, Tom Owens. That was my window into the ACC. Excuse me. And so I visited everywhere. I was going to go to St. John's here in New York City, close to my house in Queens. But Luke Carnesecca, my junior year, took the job as coach of the New York Jets, the ABA. And Yucky Giselle and George Raveling stepped into the breach and really sold me on coming down to visit Maryland. The northernmost school in the ACC, surrounded by Baltimore and Washington, D.C. So I had big cities and communities that I could relate to. And, Maryland had an idyllic campus, and quite honestly, having gone to an all-boys school, they had some pretty good-looking women. And so I decided that, this is probably where I want to be after visiting schools in the Northeast, in the Midwest, and other schools in the South. I even went to visit Duke at one time, but, it just didn't have that allure. Of course, recognizing that it was okay on campus with a lot of Northeasterners there, a lot of folks from Jersey and New York. But what happens when I step off campus? I'll never forget being in a movie theater and running into Charlie Scott from North Carolina.
Oh.
And, Charlie knew me, knew of me, and told me, man, I know who you are. You got some pretty set views on life, and this ain't the place to articulate those views.
Oh,
so,
wow.
And I appreciate the warning. Because remember, that's still 1969, 1970
right.
In North Carolina. So, Maryland ultimately won out for all of those reasons. And it's one of the best decisions I ever made for any number of reasons, including the fact that I met my wife there.
Wow. Okay. So, let's talk about some of those views.
Well, as we mentioned, I was somewhat radical. Couldn't participate in the protests that were going on at the time, particularly in the war in Vietnam, that, kind of shut down a lot of schools. But, recognizing that we were fighting an illegitimate war, also, recognizing the strength of, player leverage, seeing that on campus there are a lot of things that we can speak of and speak to. I was someone who kind of spoke out with my teammates, spoke out among my classmates and on a number of political fronts. But, I couldn't be too visible because you get threatened with your scholarship if, you became too much of a rebel around me. And quite honestly, as much as I wanted to, be that hero, I just didn't want to mess around with my education at the time. So,
Okay.
I did it kind of on the down low, but my teammates recognized my leadership. I was captain of the team the last 2 years of my time at the University of Maryland. But in the end, again, between writing and speaking out, I developed a habit of trying to establish some leadership on the front, recognizing from a social justice standpoint it was important for athletes to be able to stand for that. And we're talking about the good things. When I got to the University of Maryland, I started a kind of a little camp at one of the local junior high schools. And, we would do reading in the beginning, and then we'd go and we'd have like a basketball clinic. And for that, we had a magazine called Sport Magazine, and it was the College Athlete of the Month. Because of, starting that little clinic and that little reading, the reading opportunity for the youngsters in Keith Clinton, Maryland. And it was things like that. But to me, that was better activism than going out there and challenging state police with tear gas in their hands.
Right.
So those are the kinds of things that are important. And it's more important than anything else that I think is characterized my career is just trying to give back to the community. I mean, I'm one of those guys that felt so fortunate to be able to, use basketball to get where I am today. That, as they say, to whom much is given, much is expected. And the idea of giving back, creates that this karma-like circle. Good things happen to you when you do good things.
Exactly. I'm definitely a believer in karma. I do my very best to do right by everyone I come in contact with. It's more, like you said, if you continue to give, you will never run out of things to give as long as you're giving, as they call it today, paying it forward.
Yep.
When it comes to these kinds of things, who was some of your influence? I'm sure you said you had a great upbringing, but is there anybody outside of your home that was an influence to you that helped mold you in this way?
Well, first of all, I would say that the initial hero that I read about and I was so impressed by, not only because of how he survived the trials and tribulations of his youth, and going to college and being the only African American on his team, and also being a great football player, but not even getting the recognition and name to an All-American team, but they didn't take his picture. But he ultimately became a great college football player. He became a lawyer, a highly trained lawyer, a singer, an actor, and certainly a notable warrior for freedom. Now, Paul Robeson.
Yes.
Once I learned about him, I said, you know what? I'd like to do that too. I'd like to be all of those things. I'd like to have an opportunity to do many of the things that he has done. And then as you move up, obviously, you look at what the Panthers have done, and the idea of feeding the community and standing up and protection. When I was growing up, I was the object of bullying. Being a big kid but being young. And a lot of the neighborhood guys, show off. They go pick on a guy like me. I'd be 11, 12 years old, but I might have been 5'10", 5'11", and I was like fresh meat with some of these guys. And then when I wound up growing about 6'9", 240, I was like their best friend. So, things change quickly. But, you look at those things, because I can't stand bullying, and you recognize the idea of being able to spread, goodwill and to be able to help people. So the Panthers, and then when I read Malcolm and some of the things that he believed, particularly after his split with the nation, and recognizing that, goodness comes in all colors. And, you recognize that that's what it comes down to. It's not relegated. Excuse me, it's not relegated to just, one race or one religion. And so that was important to me. I can go on and on with people who touched my life, whether it's, a little bit of Bobby Kennedy, a little bit of this person and that person. But in the end, those the people I just mentioned, and even Kareem, and I recognize the greater player that he is, how intellectual and cerebral he was. And also, he was a lover of music, which I was too, jazz particularly, and music of the time. All of those people kind of touched my life in some way, shape, or form. Not that I would ever become, reach the heights that they have reached, but certainly it's given me some motivation, and, it's certainly given me some comfort.
Okay. Now, as you stated, you looked at people like who were dual in their personalities, meaning athletics as well as academics. Paul Robeson is a person who I truly feel he's not spoken about. People don't speak about Paul Robeson enough. We hear Muhammad Ali, we hear the Lou Alcindor's, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's, the Jim Browns, the Bill Russells, but no, you hardly ever hear the name Paul Robeson. Why do you think that is? How do we forget about, so to speak, Paul Robeson in the midst of everything else?
Well, I think partly because of the era in which he, kind of reached his authentic self. After playing at Rutgers and being that All-American, and also people don't realize he was Phi Beta Kappa, and he was also a class valedictorian at Rutgers University,
right?
Which is absolutely amazing for the son of a freed slave. Or the grandson of a free slave. Bottom line is that people don't hear about him also because he was so outspoken against the hypocrisy that the United States represented, particularly throughout the war. He made no bones about speaking out against lynching. He made no bones about speaking out to integrate baseball and to integrate the other sports. Unfortunately, he aligned himself in some ways with the Soviet Union at the time, which was, the
ultimate
same thing as communism.
Right.
And, during those days, the Red Scare in the Cold War, people thought that he was a communist, but he wasn't. And that's the thing they tried to align it. All he said was, he could go visit the Soviet Union, do a concert, and people treated him like a human being, as opposed to him being in the United States, simply down south, where, he had to fear for his life. And from that, people